Hey everybody, would you follow me on Instagram at adailypodcast.com or just drop me a line at adailypodcast@gmail.com, and please tell somebody if you like it. If you don't like it, then please don't say anything.
Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, one half a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. Hell yeah. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
Leg out.
What up, everybody? So much time and so little to talk about, like I always say. Oh, what's that? Oh, my bad. Apparently there's a lot to talk about. Mostly, for starters, I just finished one of my big jobs, my big money makers. At least it's supposed to make me money. We'll see. Sometimes they don't pay for 90 days, and it's just a pipe dream, and then I wind up spending all the money in the meantime, and by the time I get the money, it's just a push. So I do one of the big universities over here, Chapman University, and they're really into be quiet. People are always calling and complaining, and so I'm doing the job, and I do the windows over there, and I'm finishing up, and I get done at like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, okay. Now I got this stupid lift that beeps. I got to park it in a parking lot because they're complaining about where I was parked, and they wanted it in a certain area, blah, blah, blah. So I park go to park the lift in an outside parking lot. That way there's no complaints, because complaints are no bueno. And that's the thing, is when you're doing one of these buildings, you got everybody that lives there will complain. Everybody that works there will complain. If you're running late, your wife will complain. It just, there's very few people will say, "Wow, you're knocking it out working late." So anyway, so I'm driving and driving the lift and trying to be real quiet. And I'm going through to my left is the university, and to the right is the residential area. It's all quiet, and it's Saturday night. I'm thinking, where are all the partiers at? Not that I want to party, it's just, if I'm going down the street and you hear doo, 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 nobody's going to hear my stupid lift, but no, everything's quiet as a mouse. And I'm going, and I hit a stupid pothole. And it was one of these scissor lifts, so you can't 4x through it. It's on a scissor lift, it's made for hard surfaces. And so I'm like, great, it's the middle of freaking night, and so luckily I rocked it back and forth. Again, now I'm trying to be quiet, so now I'm rattling all the metal on the lift, and I just picture the lights turning on in the bedrooms one by one. And again, one complaint changes everything. They come out and they make new rules for next time. So anyway, I finally rock it out and go around it, and I'm like, great. So I get all the way to the parking lot. It's maybe a little over a quarter of a mile to where the building was that I last finished. So anyway, I get there, pass all the people that are hiding in the bushes and homeless, and the people making out and everything. So because it's the middle of the night, and everybody just is drawn to the campus. I think it's because it's kind of lit. It's a safe place to hang out. So anyway, so I get to the parking lot, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to do something nice. I'm going to back in the spot just for the driver the next day, so he can just head out and load it on his truck and be gone. So I'm like, instead of heading in, I'm just start to do the kind of 3-point turn to back it in. or I guess 2-point turn. So I head in, turn, go to back up, and the battery dies. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm literally 15 feet from where I need to be. Now I'm sticking out in the parking lot, and I can't just leave it there. And so I try to like flick the switch off and on, and it's all low battery, and then it starts beeping like crazy, like, you know, it's warning, oh God, danger, you know, somebody's gonna die. And yeah, I'm gonna die because I'm gonna have a heart attack. I'm trying to be quiet. So I start flicking the switch, and then I'm like, you know, there's no way to be quiet. You know, I got duct tape I'll put over speaker, but a lot of these speakers are internal, the beeping. So I listen to the beep, 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 super loud, echoes, everything's concrete, and I'm like, oh God, I just woke up half the city. And I'm trying to be quiet, so it just seems a lot louder. So anyway, I get it in the spot finally, and then I'm like, great. And then here comes the security guard. Was that you? I'm like, oh Lord. And yeah, so that's kind of how my night went, finishing up my big job, and that's just one. That's the very end of it. That was the high point. You know, a bunch of low points on there, which usually happens when you're making the big money comes big responsibility, big stress, and big everything else. And that's one thing that, you know, my show is pretty much about business, you know, trying to convey my point of view, and hopefully you'll hear my voice and trust my point of view. So if I happen to touch on something that you're concerned about or would like to get kind of, I guess people like to hear their thoughts reverberated by other people. And if you're not clear on a thought, you know, you'll think, okay, maybe he was clear about other things. He could be clear about this. So anyway, yeah, I did make money on that job, but the stress is just, it's 10 times as much as a stress from a smaller paying job. And that's kind of where we're at. When people want to make money, you think, okay, I'm just gonna, you know, if somebody came up to me, like a younger person came up to me and said, okay, how could I make money and what could I do? One of the things I'm doing right now is I tell everybody about this food company that we're starting. One of the products we have, it's called Nextella, and it's basically, it replaces Nutella. You know, we're palm oil free, sugar free, blah blah blah. It tastes good, all that stuff. But the problem is nobody knows about it. You know, I could roll down my window and yell at the person next to me. I'm at a stoplight right now. But that's a lot of energy to tell one person. So, you know, save your energy unless you're 15 years old and you got a lot of time. For, you know, then start all the grassroots things you want. So you want to be effective. So right now I'm reaching out to somebody. I think it's Delicious Yum. I gotta check my email. But anyway, she has like 1.5 million followers. So I'm reaching out to her, and she was saying that we could push the product on her site, and she likes the product. And in advertising, it's all pay to play. But if you're selling, you know, car batteries, obviously they're not going to sell it on a cooking show. But you know, for what we're doing, as long as it fits, you know, they'll push it. And you know, if it's terrible, if it's bad, then nobody's going to buy it, or I don't get a return on investment, so I'm not going to keep on advertising with that person. But at least it's one avenue to throw money at. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to throw a bunch of money at one area. I'm doing the other thing was stumble upon. I'm doing it on that too. I'm doing the podcast and the Nextella on that, and it's so far you get like getting like almost 1,000 views to the website, you know, from that. And it's not free, but you know, like I said, you got to pay to play. If your product is worth it, you'll pay. If it's not, and you're going to stick with it, eventually it will be worth it. But you got to figure out what you're going to do, what you're willing to do, know the limitations of your product, and that's the hardest thing to do, is say, okay, when do I pull the eject button? So anyway, that whatever you have, whether it's a service, a company, you got to find your porthole. And I know it's changing. It used to be just you go handing out flyers, and now it's you got to tell people your story, get people interested, and then they'll come to you. But the problem is, now where do you get that discretionary income to throw money at these people that have the 1.5 million people or whatever that can push your product? That's where 20 years of hard work comes into play. So you have to, unfortunately, have a really good job, a really good gig, a really good whatever. Whether you're going to be a pool cleaner, what else was I thinking of? There are a lot of different things that people are doing now, and whatever it is, you need to be really smart about it and get into that, and double down on it, and start making money from it. And I do like the service industry because your personality does help. If you're a gardener, your personality will only get you so far, but when you go into people's homes, your personality will become an asset, because now they're trusting you with, you're going in their daughter's room or their son's room, depending on your preference. But you need to be trusted. And one of the greatest compliments I've ever received was actually my former brother-in-law. He called his boss, and he was he had like a mega mansion and was having a party, and he didn't know me from Adam, and he said, hey, I'll send Brent over there and he could do your house. And he said you could trust him with your life. And I just kind of overheard it in the next room. I'm thinking, wow, what a compliment. And if you can get that reputation, somebody will trust you with their life, then you're halfway home, because you can figure out how to do anything eventually. It's just going to take time. And once somebody will trust you with their alarm code, they'll leave you a blank check. This is what we're talking. In a world where one of my neighbors just had their car broken into, and the day after I was there, and it's like, if you're a detective, you'll say, okay, well, who was the last 10 people here, but the fact that she knows me, she's known me for a few years, she trusts me, there are bad people around. So somebody was there casing the joint. I don't know who. Sorry. Oh man, I'm tired. I don't know who, but it's if you didn't have a good reputation, if it was your first time, guess what? You're gonzo. You're done. And you have to have that good reputation, but you also have to earn it. And how do you earn that reputation? There was I had a new ladder, and I didn't know, but the side of the stupid ladder had like a burr in it, and it scratched the granite floor, the slate floor. So I said, all right, I'm taking the ladder down on the inside of the house, and I felt this little drag. I'm thinking, God, that's horrible. It wasn't like felt sliding on a hardwood floor or a granite floor. It was metal, and I'm like, great. I don't even want to turn around. I'll look at that later. So I go back in there, and I see a little scratch where my ladder was. And nobody was home, and she stepped out for a little bit, and the 16-year-old son, of course, he's our 17-year-old, doing everything except for noticing what's going on. He's saving the world on his cell phone. And so I went and grabbed a little bit of polish, and then she came home, and she was in the area. I go, I gotta look at this area where the ladder was, and I go, I think I noticed a scratch. And she goes, oh, nice thing about these granite floors is everything buffs out or whatever. I'm like, wow, that could have went one of a lot of different ways. And I took the polish and I rubbed it on there. It came out perfect. So, but the fact that I said that helped to earn her trust. I didn't have to say anything, because a lot of people